Like, trafficking is a very real thing. Like, no one in my family would have known where I even was in the world. I untied my like kaftan thing and I was like, I'm gonna dive in.
Call out your least favorite model.
Where do I begin? You know, let's just end this. And he was like, are you okay? And I was like, call an ambulance. And I was like, Danny, you have one shot. I was like, you're gonna get this all done. And I was just like, yeah, hamari dosti khatam ho jayegi aaj. And everyone was just like, you're gonna get hurt. And I was just like, no. I'm built different.
Welcome, Argentinary, to PAKiAVELLiAN. Salman is carrying on his nice shirt run.
3-4 episodes in a row.
I'd say, Ad, this is the last episode in our original studio. ठीक है? So it was only right that we brought on an all-time icon, an all-time meme queen. इससे आगे, like, I can say so much about her, but I just want to get into the bottom. So we have the one and only Natalia Castillo with us. How are you, Tali?
I'm good. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for coming back. We're sorry we lost your footage.
It's okay.
It was too good.
It was too good. We were actually stopped. We were like, we can't release this. The public is not ready for this shit. ठीक है. So, Tali,
Lucky for you, I like to yap. Invite me to yap anywhere, anytime, any place.
how's your day been so far?
Uneventful. We had a sleepover last night with Mukam and Kamal. And my sister and I woke up in the morning. We got overcharged at Baked. And we got some coffees. And I came here. That's it. That's been my day.
And story. Yes.
Oh, yeah, my pants. Okay, I have these cursed pants. They're literally cursed. So so first I bought these pants. They're just like a regular pair of white pants from. They're just a regular pair of white pants from Llama. Oh, acha. So yeah, I have these pants. Literally, they are cursed pants at this point. So I bought them at Llama. When I bought them, they were 3 or 4,000 rupees the first time, like 2 years ago. I wore them to my holy birthday, which obviously I was like, my holy birthday. Not holy birthday. I wore them to my holy birthday. They got destroyed by the holy. I tried to like bleach it out. I was like, yeah, I really like these pants. Literally these exact same pants. So tried to bleach the color out. Nahi nikal aaya. To maine jaake ek aur khareede the. When I went to buy another pair, it was like 6 months later, they were like 5,000 rupees. I was like, chalo, okay, bought them again. And then like 6 months after that, I was at the coffee shop and it was a picture, like a framed painting. And so funny. There was a framed painting and this girl that I hadn't seen in a while, she like hugged me and it was leaning against like a sofa and the wall. And I guess they were about to hang it up, but it hadn't been hung up yet. And when she hugged me, she kind of like went back and she like leaned over me to hug Mukarram and she kind of knocked into me. And I like fell, but I was like, I'm just going to fall onto the sofa. It's not that deep. And I fell into the glass frame and it ripped my pants, poked me in the butt. Like I was bleeding. I bled.
God.
I bled on this painting and I had to go up to the bathroom. Thankfully, the girl I was meeting was a doctor. She went to the bathroom and she was literally picking like glass out. It was really bad. And I told the coffee shop people, I was just like, they were like, oh, we'll buy you a new pair of pants. And I was like, yes.
She's like, yes, but what's Gucci?
I was like, yes, it was Louis Vuitton. So I was like, it's fine. I'll just go to Llama and buy another pair of pants. So I go to Llama. The pants are now 7,000 rupees. And I called the owner of the coffee shop again. I was just like, listen, you are going to have to buy me those pants. I'm not spending 7K on these 3,000 rupee pants for the third time. So then I went to Baked and we're leaving Baked and there was this like metal grate and I'm walking by it to get into the car and it yanks, like catches on my butt and it rips the entire backside. And I was just like, oh my God. So me and my sister get in the car, I go home and I change into another pair of the same pants. It's like pair number 7.
And have you modeled for Llama?
Yeah, but it was a long time ago.
Okay, Llama.
Come on, Lama.
It's been like 3 years. Come on.
I'd say, yeah, so in the previous episode, Salman kind of surprised me with a quiz. So I have a quiz for you.
Okay.
ठीक है. And
Okay.
अच्छा, so the quiz is this Tali's Instagram caption or not?
Okay, done. All right.
अच्छा, I'm letting you know if you want to remove any of these, I can. अच्छा, there's only one rule. It's a yes or no. It's true or false.
yeah.
There's only one rule. You can't give him anything. Like you can't like. It's technically between both of you. If he guesses correctly, you lose. If you guess wrong,
It's a great game.
All right, let's go.
अच्छा यार तो let's start with an easy one. ये तो तुझे पता है कि इसने अच्छा मैं खैर मैं अच्छा ठीक है I'm giving you. So number one, we need more handsome Pakistani men like Mr. Mustafa.
Yeah, ये तो मेरी caption. No, obviously not. नहीं तो मेरी caption. मुझे लगा तो मेरी पता नहीं होता मेरी caption है यार तो मेरी.
अच्छा let's do another one. ठीक है. When I die, bury me in Gucci.
No, because no. Did you say it? No.
No.
Because you said, and I'll tell you why. Because you just said that. Oh, it's Gucci, but you said, yeah, it's Louis Vuitton.
मैंने this was a mind game. मैं तुझे set up कर रहा था. अच्छा चल ठीक है ये मैं 2 cancel करता हूँ and then so it's 1 पहला वाला तो free throw थी.
चलो ठीक है.
अच्छा एक second. वो कहाँ गया? When I die, bury me in.
You want to know what the real caption was? The real caption was, "When I die, bury me in Rasta."
अच्छा जी.
Go for llama.
यार लामा को करना चाहिए.
Llama बहुत अच्छा है, bro.
लामा वाकई काफी अच्छा है. लामा sponsor us.
Yeah, llama बहुत अच्छा है.
अच्छा.
That's up.
Rasta's already pretty much sponsoring us.
अच्छा हाँ. Number 3. My favorite animal on night out is me. Yes.
Yes. That's a decent one. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really recent
That's the
ones.
most like normal decent one. Yeah.
अच्छा ठीक है. XO from your favorite Insta thought.
No. No.
The captions on my archived post that I had to archive when I moved back also ate down.
Bro, वो literally अभी जब मैं देख रहा था, that's what I was laughing at. I was like, ये मैं ढूंढ रहा था. अच्छा हाँ. कितने हो गए तेरे? 2 या 3?
Yeah. I'm 3 yes, 1 no.
Okay.
3-1.
Okay. Aspiring sugar baby.
Good one, यार. वैसे क्योंकि अभी conversation हुई थी और पता नहीं set up था या नहीं था. I will say that yes, that is a caption.
But honestly, I think I might save that for my next caption. Stay at home, sugar baby.
That's a different story altogether. Someone just entered the comments. अच्छा. So 3-2? 3-2. Okay. Rich stepmom vibes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been no.
Yes.
That is a caption.
Come back. Oh, want to come back.
Championship final.
एक सेकंड में तो delete कर लूँ ताकि वक्त
So stupid. I know.
1, 2, 3. Okay. The Kohinoor has returned to Pakistan.
No.
I went to like throw you off. The Kohinoor has indeed returned.
Oh, it's a lead. It's 4-3.
Yeah, I don't know.
2 रह गए हैं, bro. 2 रह गए हैं. ये do or die है basically.
I did not know on purpose.
Like, no, I did the whole thing that okay, so it's in England. Are you more in England or are you more in America? No, she's more in
The
America.
Kohinoor belongs in Pakistan, and I will die on that hill. Return it. The queen's dead. Come on.
Whoa.
Well, she was like 100. Come on.
She was 100. Acha. We started a cult this week. What did you do? उधर ना देख.
यार मैंने बहुत बार नो बोल दिया. मैं यस बोलने का सोच रहा हूँ. अब अगर नो निकला तो बड़ा.
Do or die, bro.
Yes.
Yes. I remember the picture that you're talking about too.
Oh my God.
And for the winner.
And for the winner, I have a PhD in Rhizonomics.
No.
ठीक है. It was PhD in physics.
Six.
Well done. We're literally ending with today. ये Kristen Bull हुआ है. बहुत आला यहाँ पे तुम लोग अब acquaint हो गए हो.
Like now, when I write out my captions, I'm gonna be thinking about like making you laugh. You are gonna be my target audience now.
All time, Jari. So, yeah, Tali, you know, I brought you on it as a guest and we were doing our research and bro, I saw College Gate, like the entire thing of
You're gonna
it.
be off.
And Tali, you're a fantastic actor in that.
Really?
I'm, I'm not saying कि like बाकी बुरे थे, but you were so believable in that. I won't lie. Like there was a scene जिसमें Hakan is almost shot. ठीक है, and everyone is pretty believable. But Tali is like वो जहांगीर उसको I think गोली मारने आता है. तो everyone is like scared, but you're looking absolutely shocked. So, yeah, you've told me कि like acting is not for you, but is that, even though you've had one drama and like you've done pretty well in it, so wait, let me phrase this correctly. How well you performed in College Gate, does that not make you want to act in like more dramas or whatnot? Because personally, मुझे तो तुम बहुत believable लग रही थी, and like there's some more quotes from there, but I just want to first talk on that.
Compliment. Honestly, I think that's the first time anyone has like.
नहीं, what are you talking about? खातान ने भी कहा था ताली इतनी believable है, मामिया ने भी कहा था, सभी ने कहा था.
मुझे तो नहीं कहा था. But I mean, that always makes me feel good to know that like my friends speak highly of me behind my back and shit on me to my face. That's always the mark of a true friend. Dude, funny thing, if I'm being so honest, 70 to 80% of the time that I was on the College Gate set, I genuinely did not know what was going on in terms of like the storyline, because we weren't really given the script to like read through. So it was like, hey, today we're shooting, all of us are camping, and then tomorrow we're shooting, someone's getting shot. And I'm just like, that escalated kind of quickly. Like, what's going on over here? And I honestly, like, most of the time, when we were in Murray, I still had a better grasp on like the storyline. But in that scene was shot in Karachi, genuinely, like, head empty. I was like, just tell me what to do. And I was also so over, like, being there and just how tough the experience was of, like, the living conditions and everything. Like, it was hard. I'm not the type of person that enjoys being away from home. Like, I really do need my space and my comfort, which is kind of one of the like main reasons why I'm just like, I don't think that this drama life like is for me. It's not so much the acting, it's more the lifestyle, because you're not just, doing one project. You're shooting back to back. You've seen it. Our friends are all doing it. It's a constant thing. You never have time to do anything else. Like, it's subah se lekar raat tak. You're shooting 1 month spells at a time, where like I'm not getting the food that I eat at home. I like eat 90% of my meals at home. I work out like every day now. I like sleeping in my own bed, and it like really impacts me if I'm not getting enough sleep or my diet's not good. And that was like the hardest part about doing the drama, was just like, this is really like another level of like being away from home. I find it difficult. And I was just like, I don't think that this like lifestyle is something that I can continue to do and also stay sane. Because like, I mean, mental health awareness, like I have struggled with like, I've struggled with my mental health a lot. And for me, like, being in that environment just was not conducive. And I was like, realistically, I can't be doing this 6 to 8 months out of the year. Like, it's just not something I can do. In terms of acting though, like, I don't know. I guess you could say like it's in my blood. That's kind of like, that would be like the easy answer. But I really did grow up in that environment. I grew up hearing about everyone around me talking about acting, what makes an actor, what makes an actress. I went to film school. I studied acting. I took acting classes as a part of my major. I also like, again, like it's kind of like, it's funny to say that something's in your blood, but like it genuinely is, because like my grandmother was a performer. Like she really, really, truly was a performer.
For the people that don't know, Natalia's grandmother was Nilo Begum and her uncle is Shan Sahib.
Yeah, so like big family of actors and industry sort of like Nepo baby. So my grandmother, I would watch her, like we all grew up in the same house. I would watch her turn on, like she was Nilo when she was Nilo, you know, and she was my grandmother when she was my grandmother. And I would kind of like, I don't know if you've seen these clips of people talking about like Marilyn Monroe walking down the street and nobody recognizes it's her. And then she sort of turns it on. And then all of a sudden, you know, you can't walk for 20 feet because and she doesn't change anything. It's just like you turn it on. Like I grew up seeing that in front of me. Like I grew up seeing, you know, my uncle being Chachu and then like him sort of turning on being Sean, you know, and my grandmother especially. And it was just this superpower that I maybe it was just because I grew up like seeing it that even though I like have done very little acting, I genuinely feel like Natalia calling and this sort of internet personality that I've built is a it's a persona. Like even when I go to influencer events, I'm always wearing like I don't wear Natalia, me, Tali, I don't wear high heels ever. The only high heels I wear, I'm either wearing on my modeling sets or I'm wearing when I am Natalia Calling. And I'm showing up to a space as Natalia Calling. And I'm this influencer and I'm larger than life and I'm taller and I'm like, you know, this personality. And even before Instagram was a thing, this has always just sort of been a part of me. Like, I'm not changing who I am. It's like, this is me in private. And I feel like anyone who knows me, like in a much more intimate way, knows that I love having my personal space. I love reading. I love like the quiet. I love solitude. I love like even when we were at Samarkand on this trip in the mountains, every like Danya and Ali were kind of going crazy. They were like, dude, we need to leave. Like we need to get out of here. And because we weren't leaving the space. And I was like, dude, I could honestly chill here for like a month without leaving this house because it was just such cottage core vibes and I'd be fine. Like I'm so happy in this like environment of like solitude. And I feel like most people who know me as this like extrovert would never think that because it really is something that you step into and you like turn it on. And acting for me, I guess, again, like I have a very limited experience of acting, but the way that I approached it and the way that I treated it was like, you're just stepping in to this. Like, and also, I mean, College Gate was relatively easy for me because I didn't feel like my character was me. I was playing an ABCD. I was playing like this sort of, a lot of people do think I'm an airhead, and me being an airhead is a personality that I've developed because it is entertaining for me and it gets you far. When people underestimate you, like, like you're intellectually, when people underestimate you, they undermine you, and that's actually an advantage. Like for me, it has not always.
Why though?
Why? Because they'll be more comfortable saying things in front of you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's proven to me to be an advantage many times over. Like when people think I'm dumber than I am, or they think I'm not picking up on like everything that's being put down, but I'm actually very in tune to like my environment at all times. Like I'm a Pisces, so I'm too in tune to the energy. I'm very in tune.
You know, maybe the middle opposite. People think I'm smart, but I'm dumb as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't
Thinks you're smart. Who's not so thinking I'm smart?
इतना सब भी सोच रही है मुझसे भी इतना नीचे अभी तो सोच रहे हो थोड़ा सा भी आता है थोड़ा सा भी I'm like wait
नहीं ये तो वाकई बहुत ज़्यादा smart है. I think उल्टा है. I think उल्टा है. Anyways, but it's interesting that you mentioned like the lifestyle जो acting sets पे होता है. Like I've seen multiple documentaries. और ये I think Hollywood और Bollywood में इसको ज़्यादा recognize किया जाता है, the amount of stress how stressful it is to actually be on a set for, you know, months on end and like extremely illogical timings and like, you know, working for 24 hours straight and like dur hona, and then it keeps people on the edges. Like Eminem के ऊपर भी मैंने काफी videos देखी हैं about the time when he was filming 8 Mile. So the set life was just too much for him and it just made him relapse back into like his
music.
drug addiction.
Also notorious for being the 9 to 5 guy when it comes to making music, right? Like he does like
Yeah, but okay, so
But like अपने routine पे चलता है. So like his grooming routine for 8 Mile set him back onto like the drug thing.
the thing is, it's really interesting because that just goes to show you, I mean, I'm clearly, obviously, like an extremely talented rapper, like, you know, one of the best, one of the greatest. I feel like it shows that that is what he's passionate about. And it's just one of those things where he was getting enough fame through his like music that he didn't really necessarily need to go into acting. It at the end of the day boils down to how badly do you want this? There was people on our set that were like, we were willing to do this project for free. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, I was born to be an actor. I'm gonna die wanting to be an actor. I simply don't want it that badly. Like, I'm not willing to sacrifice certain comforts in my life to do something that I don't want it that badly. So it's like, why not give that opportunity to someone who wants it more than me, or just, this doesn't make me happy. Like, a lot of what I try and center and focus my life around is like, what is going to make me the happiest, you know?
Is there like a passion that you would give this comfort?
There's lots of passions that I have that I would give my comfort for, but I don't know. I'm very passionate about making money. Yeah, so like, I mean, I model, and contrary to popular belief, modeling is not the easiest job in the world.
That was one of the questions that I had, huh?
Yeah, it's not easy. There's days that are tough. There's days that are like extremely difficult. I've pulled my back out. Like I was shooting this past weekend, I had 2 20-hour days in a row. And it was intense. We were waiting on set a lot.
It is really physically demanding.
It is very physical.
Which is something that people don't take into consideration.
Yeah, it's especially with the bridals, like the weight on your head, shoulders, like the beads are scratching you. I'll go home and shower, and my entire body's like stinging from all the little scratches I have, and my earlobes are like, sore from the weight of the earrings. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, I committed to doing this. This is my work. I'm passionate about my work as a model. I don't really consider myself an influencer. That just kind of happened over time. But I have been really passionate about my work as a model. I love what I do. And it's, I've committed to this work. I've committed to being here. I've committed my time to these people and my energy to these people. And I'm going to show up to the best of my ability. And at the end of the day, I'm going to go home and I'm going to rest in my own bed.
So when it comes to modeling, you're pretty fine with like giving it the hours?
For now,
giving it
yes.
the time.
Yeah.
So if there is a script in acting that comes in that makes you that passionate, so that means there's no question. When you're committed, you're committed. You just have a very high level of, I would say, standard of what things you like. And then when you get them, you're like, yeah, I'm going to give them my all.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I feel like if the right project were to come along, like, I don't know, I'm really intense. I'm definitely like a really committed person. This was a really funny story, sorry, off topic, but I feel like this would give a little bit of insight into like how intense I can be when it comes to this stuff. I got a call from, I don't remember which brand it was anymore, this was 2 years ago. I think it was Cardi. And they were like, we're shooting... They were like, we're shooting a fashion film, but we need a horse girl. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, we need a girl that can ride. So it's like, it's going to be like galloping on the beach. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I've been riding my whole life. Do I know how to ride a horse? Absolutely not. I'm like,
oh my God, was any of this legal? Absolutely.
I was like, when are you shooting this? They were like, it was like 3 weeks from now. And I was like, yeah. They were like, okay, can you send us a video of you galloping on a horse? And I was like, yeah, I can't find a video. I sent them a bunch of pictures of me sitting on horses, which I had plenty. And I was like, yeah, give me till like the weekend, right? I'll go to the polo ground and gallop on my horse, and send you guys the video. I literally start calling up all my friends. I'm just like, hey, who has a horse? Who has a horse? You have a horse at the polo ground? All right, bet. I'm gonna be there at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I need someone to teach me how to gallop on a horse. Oh, and everyone was just like, you're gonna get hurt. And I was just like, no. I'm built different. I was like, someone else would get hurt. I'm good. I showed up at the polo ground. I genuinely did not realize how hard it was to gallop on a horse. I was like, how hard can it be? It's all hard.
You just gotta stand.
Yeah, no, literally. And then also they were like, we want it to be bareback. And then I called them, I was like, listen, bareback's a bit much. Best I can do is gallop on the beach. I showed up at the polo ground every single day for almost 3 weeks straight. And I was running laps of that shit for like 3 hours every morning. It was the middle of winter. I can ride a horse now. That is a skill set that I possess. And what happened? The shoot got canceled. But you know what? I committed to the bit. I literally would, even if on days that I had shoots, I would tell them, hey, I can come in at 9 a.m. and between 6 and 9 a.m., I'd be running laps of the polo ground on a horse.
Nice.
To be able to go. And like, that is the level of commitment that I bring to anything that I'm passionate about, which is like a level of commitment that's almost insane. So for me, it's like, if I really wanted this, if I really wanted to do this, I would invest all of my time and effort into it. But I mean, nothing.
So if a brand comes in, it's like, we need a girl that can do some backflips. Like, yeah,
I can do that. A few weeks later, I thought he's bouncing on the.
No, like if I was passionate about the project, I would do it. I would do it. And an acting project as well. And it's just like, yeah, my Urdu's not the best. And I mean, for College Gate, I wasn't really like trying that hard because the attitude that I had on that set, I was going through a lot that, like in my personal life around that time. I didn't come with the best attitude. I didn't show up with like an attitude that was wanting to be there. I didn't love the way that, whatever, cut that part out.
it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, if someone did approach me with something, I would sit and I would take Urdu lessons, and if I had to speak in Punjabi, anyone who knows me knows that I would sit down and I would commit to making sure that like my dialect, my pronunciation. One thing you're not going to catch me is slipping. Like, I am here to represent my family in everything that I do. I am always going to put my best foot forward, and I'm going to accomplish it. Like, I have no doubts in my mind, like to date in my life, I've never set out to do something and not accomplished it. So it's like, it's just a matter of how badly do I want to do this thing in front of me.
Fair fucking enough. तालियां तो बनती थी, ताली के लिए तालियां बनती थी. अच्छा, so you just sort of brushed up on, अच्छा ये थोड़ा serious-ish type है. Like you mentioned, like you've struggled with like mental health and whatnot. So is the you're booing the fact that she struggled with mental health.
Ooh, you are.
Yeah, boo you, weak-minded person.
Weak-minded.
Badam khaya karo.
Sound like my dad.
Badam khaya karo.
So like, is that?
Papa.
Acha. How do you deal with anxiety as someone with anxiety? Like, it's something that's prevalent in your life, though. How does one deal with it? Like,
Pills.
oh, shut up. I thought I'd be going full like hoagie us tarah se. Like, how do you break? Is it like staying in your comfort zone that like eases anxiety and like?
Do you know your triggers yet?
Yeah, everything. The whole world is my trigger. So I actually, since the last time I was on the podcast, I feel like I've gotten so much better. And
That's what we do.
Yeah. So. It's funny because my dad literally for 20 something years of my life
Not 30 something?
No, I'm contrary to popular belief, I'm not in my 30s quite yet. But my dad literally my entire life was like, dude, I promise you, because I've struggled with my mental health a lot. I never went through really anything. Like, honestly, I've been really blessed in life. My parents, like, mashallah, really, really incredible parents I have. I have an amazing support system. I have incredible friends who love me and support me. I've never wanted for anything in this life of mine. But, I mean, despite that, yeah, I still have struggled with my mental health a lot. My dad stayed telling me, he was like, I promise, work out. Like, just work out. I deal with my anxiety, frustration, everything at the gym. I started working out almost exactly a year ago, I think. And it's been I'm like, damn, you were right. I should have listened like 20 years ago because shit, I feel better. I eat better. My body feels healthier. My brain feels better. I get tired at night. I used to struggle with my like sleep schedule. Yeah, so like the main thing has been working out and eating better because like I've struggled with.
It's really that simple.
It really is that simple. Like I didn't listen for so long. And I mean, I'm just saying my life would have been a whole lot better if you struggle with like anxiety. Obviously, I'm not saying working out is going to cure your depression. Like, I'm not saying that, like, oh, go for a walk. I'm just saying, like, as someone who like historically has struggled with really like severe anxiety and like panic attacks, working out has been like a big lifesaver with
Fun
that.
fact, New Zealand ke andar, if a kid who goes to school is diagnosed with anything to do with their mental health, before they're sent to the psychologist to get better, they're supposed to take a mandatory 3 months gym classes. Wow. And studies show that actually वो बच्चे पे नहीं जाते eventually because उनको जब बाद में like test होते हैं, they just perform really well.
Wow.
So there is actually science behind this.
Interesting.
That is incredible.
मेरा अगला सवाल यही था, is that something that you think can be cured or completely removed? I don't think तुम्हारा भी कोई इस पे है तासुरात?
इसके ऊपर, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like it's very different, right? Because the whole point that I asked her this, like, do you know your triggers? I think that basically is the key, for me at least, the key question. कि identify कर ले बंदा, the individual, what your triggers are.
Everyone in my household.
तो फिर वो solution निकल जाता है, you move out.
They always say living at home is free, but you pay in your mental health. You pay in your mental
I never heard that. अच्छा, so I'm going to segue this into maybe in a mean way. ठीक है, तो actually I'll bring that on later. So Tali, becoming a model, like that was never part of your plan as well, was it? Like I think you've spoken. I think तुमने मुझे कहा था, yeah, maybe at some other place you said that you wanted, your friends asked you to do it, and then वहाँ से you got into the thing. So
How are you going to segue this in a mean way to her mental health, by the way?
it'll come. How long do you think you're going to carry this on? If it wasn't really your, like, is that something you see you doing like long term? Yeah, I know you're someone that, you know,
gets bored easily.
तो like क्या plan है फिर इसके बारे में?
Yeah, acha. So I ideally, like, my life plan looks like me starting a business, hopefully like within the nearer future. And I feel like once I sort of have that being like my main focus in life, I'm gonna transition out of modeling. I mean, I'll still model for myself, but like, I'll transition out of modeling on a commercial scale. So it's like the web shoots and like the bread and butter, the lawn. Like I don't see myself doing that for like long term, but I would still want to do like my passion projects, which are like literally like any Hossein Rahar shoot, any Rasta shoot, like any of the
Riding
people
a
who's
horse on a beach.
riding a horse on a beach. Like if anyone approaches me with like a campaign that I'm like, yes, like I want this, I would happily do it. Like,
Do you think there's a time where someone should stop modeling? Yeah, is there like?
They get fat.
Like there's stop. अच्छा एक सेकंड यार, इसकी necklace इसके mic पे तो नहीं लग रहा? ठीक है, हाँ चलो, हाँ तो is there a time where you feel like someone should stop modeling? Is there like an ideal time for someone to stop modeling? Yeah.
I mean, if
This might be like a
you're really trying to get me to pull out the controversial stops. I mean, if you think about me, I mean, sometimes, like, if you think about the greats, like the like iconic models that, they still model, but like I'm talking about like in America and stuff, like not in Pakistan. They will still do like a Vogue cover here and there, but obviously there is a shelf life to modeling. It's like, yes, like it's so nice to see like the icons make a reappearance. And I feel like once you're a supermodel on that level, you never stop being an icon.
When you talk about supermodels, you're talking about Tyra Banks type. Yes.
I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, but yeah, I'm talking about like,
Giselle.
you know, yeah, Giselle. You know how bad I am at remembering names. I have their faces in my mind right now.
Bro, मेरे तो दिल पे नाम लिखी हुई है।
Giselle, yeah. Giselle and the like not Carly Kloss. क्या नाम है?
Heidi Klum?
Look up like the supermodels. The
Gladly.
पुराने ज़माने वाले. No, I want to be able to name them.
Sure. Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, literally like the iconic supermodels. You like, this is someone who like we're still seeing their 1996 like their like Mugler runway fashion shows like circulating on TikTok to this day. Like they never stop being iconic. So when you see them on like a Vogue issue instead of one of like the fucking Jenners, you're just like, yes, oh my God, this is like what I feel like so much of like in the Western world, what modeling has become is like a bunch of Nepo babies. No, and it's true. And they give nothing. Like look at any of Kendall Jenner's like Vogue covers or the French, the Vogue French issue from this August, September. Literally, it's an Instagram photo. Look it up. I'm not even kidding. That is not a Vogue cover. It's Kendall Jenner for Vogue France, the August issue, which is like historically like an iconic issue, especially for like French Vogue. I don't know, wild behavior that like this could have been an Instagram photo. Do you know what I mean?
ये जो
Because
the summer of the cover, yeah.
this one, yeah. Open it. That is not a Vogue cover. That's an Instagram photo. There's nothing. It's not
I
giving
need to
Vogue.
figure out a way to bring this up on the YouTube video. Ye koi copyright ko hata ke, because people need to see this.
Oh, really? I can't see it. I got the wrong one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Vibe aa rahi hai waise ke Instagram post to.
Hannah, and it's just
I mean, she doesn't look bad.
No. She's a beautiful girl. She doesn't look bad at all. But it's just like the 90s supermodels were modeling like rent was due, and it was. Like, they were telling a story. Like, they were selling us the storyline of whatever the campaign was. And now it's so bland. So I feel like that's why everyone kind of loves seeing the icons like come back. So I don't think, like, if you're an iconic model, I'm not talking about myself right now. I mean, not yet, but I feel like there is a point where, like, this is what you're known for, and you're never really gonna step out of that. I feel like everyone's always gonna in some capacity want to see you. But I mean, there are, like, I can't speak for like modeling in the West, but over here, I feel like, yeah, there is a certain point where you should sort of, if you didn't make it to that icon status and you're still going, like, there is a point where, like, commercially.
And if for people like who might not be that well versed in this industry, who are the icon status Pakistani models?
Delete this. I genuinely couldn't tell you.
Really? Oh, okay.
अच्छा, तो speaking about models in the West, एक तुमने interesting बात बताई थी, which was something that Pakistani models have over models in the West, was के
They have beautiful genes.
They do. But it was के they get paid like 4 months after any shoot from their agency, which was like no. So America, yeah, something like maybe you can explain.
American modeling agencies do not make their money off of operating as an agency.
Okay.
Like, actually what they do, and I know this because the majority of my friends in LA were models, they take the money that the clients pay. They take the money that the clients pay the models, and they hold that money for like a 90-day waiting period. And what they do most of the time, I'm not saying all agencies, but this is actually the business model of how agencies over there run, is they take that money, they invest it in other places, and then they pay the model out on the last legal date that they need to pay the money out before it's going to be an issue, right? And so what ends up happening is that over here, we get paid less as models significantly, but we work a lot more. So I'm actually like making less per shoot, but I am working so frequently that it evens out, and I get paid on the spot a lot. I mean, there's obviously payments sometimes that get delayed, but whatever. The majority of my payments, I'm getting paid the same day. As opposed to my friends who are booking shoots, like maybe 2 shoots a month, and not seeing the money for like 3 to 4 months. And that is like not knowing when you're gonna get paid. I had friends that were walking runways. I had friends that were literally like signed with the top agencies, could not pay their rent, could not afford food, like, you know, going out to promoter dinners just to eat. Like, it was wild. No, like, it was wild. And these girls are like hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers. They're not very good at monetizing it. Or at least at the time, they weren't very good at monetizing their Instagrams. I would tell them, hey, like, you can monetize this instead of just receiving free shit all the time. Like, you should start charging for it. And, you know, like, really, you know, good, well-known models that were just not.
And what's the
Not
practice here in Pakistan? How do you get paid here? You just get like...
Yeah, you get paid in cash. Usually, most of the time, there's no contracts unless it's like, you know, Nestle or like
just random bank transfers? And
literally bank transfers and
SPR, if you're listening.
What the fuck?
and cash on the spot. Like, it was funny. I was opening an account at Afterlife the other day with my dad. Fuck bank.
Okay, and they were like, मेरा उनके साथ काम चल रहा है. Beat that.
Anyway, I was opening an account at Afterlife, and they were like,
slips or something like that.
yeah, they were like, what do you do? How do you get paid? And my dad's like, I was like, I'm a model. And they were like, okay, but like, how does that work? And I was just like, they pay me when I went, no, but what's the name of the company you work for? And I was like, pick one. Like, it's just, how do I explain this to them?
Technically freelancing type of.
Yeah, and I was like, freelance, go, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think it's worth being part of an agency over here? Is there an agency model over here?
A modeling agency? I know there's a lot of talent agencies that like modeling kind of comes under that umbrella of talent, but Specific modeling agencies, I don't think so. If there are, I haven't heard of them. Citrus is not a modeling agency, it's a talent agency.
What's the difference?
The difference is that they blanket sort of commercial acting, drama, no, actually, I don't think they do drama acting, but it's mostly like commercial acting as well. Talent in whatever form that may come in. So it could be influencer, it could be modeling, it could be, acting. So I've worked through Citrus. I did 7 Up just now through Citrus. Twice, actually, I've done it. And yeah, it's a talent agency.
How does someone measure success as a model? Like, is it like the biggest, like being associated with like, massive brands, or is it like being featured on, massive publications? It's not like
I feel like everyone would have a different answer for that. Because like for me personally, I know that the like awards that happen, like the Hawa and the Lux Awards, are a really big deal for some of the people that I work with. And like they aspire to achieve that. And a lot of them, have achieved their nominations, and I'm so proud of them. And those are, I guess, for them, how they would measure their success.
What are yours?
Those things, like, those things have never been particularly important to me. For me, one of the biggest things my dad has ever taught me is measure your success with happiness. Like, that's the main thing. So if you're happy, like, that is how I know I've succeeded as a parent, How would I measure my success as a model? I don't know. There's certain brands, for sure, like throughout my career, that I'm like, I want to work with this brand, and I like kind of wait. And sometimes I'll even like scheme. I'll like literally DM them on Instagram and be like, hey, someone from your team reached out to me. I just wanted to make sure that it was legit and I wasn't getting scammed. Can you let me know, like, if that was you guys? Just to put my Instagram on their radar. And you'd be surprised, especially when I first started out modeling, how many times that worked for me. They'd be like, no, I don't think anyone reached out to you, but like, can we get your contact info? Like, I think maybe someone was trying to reach out. So if there's anyone who, people ask me for like advice on how to break into the industry, literally be delusional. Like, I don't want to be that person that's like, Delulu is the Salulu, but like, carry yourself like a model, present yourself online like you're a model. Like, literally just do that. Like, when you meet people socially, or like, I mean, there was so many brands that I hadn't done Outfitters yet. This was way back. I've done Outfitters a bunch of times now, but when I was first starting out, I was like, I want to do Outfitters. I reached out to them on Instagram.
That's how you did
Yeah,
it?
that's how I did it. I can literally name so many brands like when I was first starting out that I wanted to work with, and I was like, how do I get there? And I was just like, let me just DM them and be like, hey, were you trying to contact me? I think you were trying to contact me.
That weren't, but now we are.
Yeah, because like, how do you say, hey, I'm an aspiring model, please take me for a shoot? Like, no, it's like, did you want me or something?
That's a really nice hack.
It is, yeah, it's a good one. It works.
सवाल जो है ना वो थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हो गया है. अच्छा,
I do have one question before like we segue to something else. You said that the life goal है कि business खोलना है. Do you have an industry that you want to open your like?
There is an industry that I want to break into, and there is. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's a passion project.
It's a passion. It's a passion project.
It's like a very innovative idea that you don't want to like release.
No, it's nothing like that. I wouldn't call it innovative, but it is something that I have been wanting to start for such a long time, and it's something I've talked about starting for such a long time, and it's just not something that has actualized up until this point in my life, and I kind of made the decision that this isn't something I want to talk about anymore. I just want to do it.
Okay.
So like that's why I'm kind of like, because you get this sort of dopamine when you talk about like doing something, cheap dopamine, and I don't want to give into that anymore. So I'm just like, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm just going to do it, and when it's out, it's out. Like,
fair enough.
Yeah, perfect.
So we have Tali, a very successful model, and someone that is also, this is where the anxiety mean segue comes into play.
Oh, that's right.
ठीक है, तो Tali, very successful model, also someone जिसको काफी anxiety भी हो जाती है. So Tali once told me about this incident in Karachi at the beach for this brand. So I'll just set you up, alley-oop you like that, and just narrate us through that incident.
I'm going to narrate the story, but I want to preface this story by saying that the brand, I'm not going to name the brand was an incredible brand, an incredible team. They took more precautions than anybody to ensure our safety and comfort and everything. So like, I'm going to preface by saying that. Just saying, like, no shade to these people at all. Anyway, so also preface it by saying that I listen to so much true crime. Like I am such a like crime junkie that any kind of situation, like the situation could have been a totally like benign, normal situation. And in my own head, it's very possible with this particular story that I might have built it up into something it was not. I never want to take risks. So it's like, be crazy, be like rude, but like be safe. So like there's been lots of situations where I know that like I'm coming off as rude, like in America with Uber drivers. If I felt unsafe, if we're driving at 4 a.m., I literally would have the window rolled all the way down, my seatbelt unbuckled, just so I could like open the car. And I know my vibe was giving that to like the Uber driver, but I didn't care that I was making them uncomfortable just because like I wanted to make sure I was safe first and foremost because I'm very, very paranoid. Anyway, so
Preface, yeah.
Anyway, so we're basically we're shooting on the beach, right? We're shooting on the beach, and the designer or like the head of like this brand was like, we've got some jet skis, and there was like a like little boat as well that was in the colors of the brand and everything. And we're shooting on the beach, and he's like, who wants to get on the jet ski? Like, does anyone here know how to ride a jet ski? And I was just like, yeah, I can ride the jet ski. No one else really wanted to do it, so I was like, I'll get on the jet ski, I don't mind. So I get on the jet ski, and I'm going like back and forth. We're getting some drone shots of me on the jet ski with like the clothes flying in the back, and I'm just like doing it. And then it was hard to like hear because I'm in the ocean. So like there was a lot of people who were like giving isharas, and all of them were contradicting isharas. मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही थी, और जेट स्की की आवाज भी बहुत ऊंची थी, तो मुझे literally कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही थी. So I was like, हैं, आ जाओ वापस, जाओ आगे जाओ, left जाओ, right जाओ, समझ ही नहीं आ रही थी कि क्या करूँ. I was like really like confused. So I came back थोड़ा सा अंदर, and the guy who was like managing the jet skis was like, they said that they want you on the boat. कि like तुम्हारे boat के shots हैं. मैं कहा ठीक है, okay, I'll get on the boat. They want some drone shots of me on the boat. So he gets on the back of my jet ski, and the boat was like maybe a kilometer out, right? And so
A kilometer from the beach.
From the beach, yeah. So it was like pretty far out, right? And so I get on the boat, and the guy is standing on the back of my jet ski. He gets me on the boat. There's 3 men on this boat, right? So I stand on the boat, and I'm thinking that the guy's gonna stay like right around there with the jet ski. As soon as I step onto the boat, he sits on the jet ski and he drives the jet ski away. And I'm in open water on a boat in this like beach, like that was like 3 hours outside of Karachi with 3 men. And I'm just like, this is literally like not a situation I want to be in. So like my anxiety is already like spiking. I was just like,
true crime is like,
dude, true crime ko chodo. That's like, bro, you're in, like, I was like, I'm in open ocean. Like these dudes could just drive off with me, and who the fuck is gonna find me before something happens? So, and I was wearing this like really long, flowy like thing. I don't know what it was, but it was like, long. And it kind of wrapped around my waist, and Nietzsche, I had pants and like a little tube top. So I'm just like, oh my God, like this is not a situation I want to be in. But then I'm like, okay, where's the drone? I'm looking for the drone because I'm like, jab drone aa jayegi, to they'll be able to see me from the beach and I'll feel safer, right? And there was a lot of security, but like, I'm on a boat. Doesn't matter if you have guns. Like, what the fuck is a gun gonna do a kilometer around the ocean for me? So I'm on the boat, and I'm just like waiting for the drone. A minute goes by. I'm constantly like looking over my shoulder because I don't want to keep these men at my back, right? And they're sitting like towards the front of the boat, and I'm like towards the back of the boat. And I'm waiting for this drone to come. Drone, I need a. So I'm like starting to like feel like really jittery, right? And I'm just like, I'm like progressively, like my anxiety is rising because I'm just like, we were at Turtle Beach, and the house that we were shooting at was really nice. But aage piche jitne bhi ghar the were like abandoned. Ghar bane hue the, but gray structure like abandoned. So I was like, bro, they could take me to one of these fucking houses 5 minutes away, and they're not gonna find me for like hours, if ever, So I'm like really starting to freak out. And I tell the guy, I'm like, maine wapas jana, like, mujhe wapas leke jao.
The guy, kaun?
There was 3
One of the 3 guys.
One of the 3 guys. I'm like, mujhe wapas leke jao abhi, is waqt. So he gets up from the front of the boat, and he starts walking like towards me, like to get behind the wheel. And I'm just like, okay, well now he's gonna start driving the boat. So my anxiety is just progressing. And they could feel that I was feeling really anxious, and they started speaking in fucking Saraiki. And I'm just like, no. नहीं, उर्दू में बात करो. I'm not gonna let them plot and scheme with each other so that they can come up with any ideas. So I start yelling over them, and then I'm like kind of acting a little crazy, and they're getting like concerned at how crazy I'm acting. So I swing my legs around the edge of the boat, and the guy's like, "Put your legs back in," and I was just like, no, like that's not happening. I'm not getting like inside this boat. I untied my like kaftan thing, and I was like, I'm gonna dive in. I'm a strong swimmer, and I'm like, I can
1 kilometer from the beach.
I can make it. Listen, I'm built different. You might not be able to.
I'll be like,
No one ever sees me again. But anyway, so this guy gets behind the wheel, and now I've got these guys over here, one guy over here, and I'm constantly looking over my shoulder like a crazy person. Because I don't want to ever have them to my back, but I also have my legs in the water. And he's like, "Put your legs back in the boat," and I'm just like, "No, like just drive." So he takes the boat, and so we were parallel to the beach, right? And he starts driving the boat this way, and I'm like screaming at him. I said, "मैंने कहा मैंने वापस जाना है तो मुझे किस तरह लेके जा रहे हो?" And he's like, "बाजी मैं U-turn काट रही हूँ." And I'm like, "कौन सा U-turn? We're in open water. We weren't by the shore where like you need to avoid anything." I was like, "Bro, we're in deep waters right now. What U-turn? Point the boat this way." I grabbed the wheel from him. And I'm spinning the wheel the other way, and I'm just like, "Where are you taking me? Where are you trying to take me?" And then the three guys, like, because things are getting really chaotic on the boat, these three guys start yelling like at each other in Saraiki, and that aggravates me even more. And I'm just like yelling, and it was such chaos on this boat. And honestly, I think I terrified the shit out of them. They were terrifying me. But like one thing about me, I'm not gonna play about my safety ever. Like I don't care if you think I'm
Fair enough, huh?
I'm not ever gonna put myself in a position that's like that. And so I literally had like a white knuckle grip on the steering wheel with my legs in the water on this side, and I'm like this holding the steering wheel, and I made him turn it back towards the water, and I jumped out of the boat before we even got onto like the shore, got completely wet, and I get back out, and I'm just like shaking, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "The drone never came. Where was the drone?" Like, and they were like, what's going on? And I was just like, "You guys put me on the boat and the drone never came out. I never saw the drone come." And like, I just got really scared. And they're like, "We never told anyone to put you on the boat."
Fuck
And I was just
me.
like, okay, could have been a misunderstanding for sure. I'm sure it was just a misunderstanding because like it was so hard to hear each other on the beach. But I was just like, "Oh my God, what do you mean you never asked them to put me on the boat?" They were like, no, nothing was gonna happen to you. And I was just like, "I don't know, you weren't on the boat." Anyway, that was funny. Woo, funny story.
Yeah, so ये मेरी mean segue थी.
Okay.
कब से समझ आ गई?
नहीं, लेकिन नहीं, the ending does kind of freak me
Nah,
out.
the actor
Like,
का.
oh.
Yeah, they were like,
But I was like, "Oh, it's fine." Like maybe the guys like told you to go there. Like, oh,
no, they were like, "We never asked them to put you on the boat." And they even were questioning the guy from the jet ski who was like, "Why'd you put her on the boat?"
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So let's segue this into like a sort of nicer way. Yeah, nicer something. Do you think people who aren't conventionally good looking can become models?
I think people who aren't conventionally good.
Do you think people that are not conventionally good looking can model or turn into like supermodels? Like people that are conventionally good looking like Hakan can become models and like
Dude, my genuine opinion on this is I think that people who are not conventionally good looking make the best models. There are so many models that I'm like, these girls have an interesting face. This is like a face that I am like, the eyes, like the sort of some little bit like alien sort of look. For me, like, there's the male gaze, there's the female gaze, then there's like the Lahari lawn gaze, which is where they just want the whitest, most conventionally like pretty girls.
Nothing changed नहीं हो गया पिछले 2-3 सालों में. Now they're looking like dusky, like brown girls.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, and there's so many beautiful ones. There are, yes, the bigger brands that are like kind of pushing the envelope a little more for sure. But like, there are so many brands that I could name that have to date never worked with a non-white girl. And even when they hire me for their campaigns, like best believe I am like edited whiter and the makeup's like white because they want that like porcelain look. So yeah, it's just the reality of living in this country and the whole post-colonial hangover. But I think unconventionally attractive people or even unconventionally, like unconventional faces are just so much more interesting. Like to me, I could name a few, and I know that when I've complimented these girls' faces, I won't name them because I don't want anyone to think that I'm speaking about them negatively. But when I'll tell other people that I think that they have such interesting faces, other people will be like, oh no, that girl's not pretty at all. And I'm just like, she's such an interesting look, like about her. I think, no, it's great. And they're usually better models too, so there's that.
That's
That's true, by the way. I've never seen, I would say, like, because I'm a guy, I can say this. And plus I'm Punjabi, I'm in Pakistan.
क्या बोल रहे थोड़ा सा
That supermodels, I would never see them and go like, oh, what a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never like seen a supermodel or like even like a model in Pakistan like who do like the runways and stuff. I wouldn't look and be like, oh, they're so beautiful. I would always say like, yeah, okay, she's wearing the clothes.
She's wearing the clothes.
Right.
Like the wide set eyes are a thing that I really love. That look a little bit alien. Gaps in the teeth. Like it's usually things that like other people can be insecure about that ends up being like such a striking feature when it comes to like modeling and photography as an art. Even like the bump on the Roman nose, that sort of like bump on the nose. There are some models who I think like really just rock it, and I don't know, like it's great. I think it's beautiful.
Achha, so there was this interesting question that I saw on Flagrant, Jovo. They asked this Jamaican English person. ठीक है? They asked him, do you associate being Jamaican more or being English more? ठीक है? So has there ever been like a point in your life where you associate being, because you lived in America for a couple of years, like uni भी वहाँ थी, and then like एक दो साल थे वहाँ पे, हाँ.
Yeah, very back and forth.
And then you were here as well. Was there ever a point where you were more associating with your Dominican roots than your Pakistani roots, or has it always been like, you know, Pakistan, or was it just not either and it was just American? Like, is that like,
No, it's
you understand the question?
I understand the question completely, and it's
It's
so
not dumb. It's a human thing, bro.
I'm not a dumb model, guy.
Yeah.
No,
Understand the question. Oh.
Shut up, bro.
no, it's interesting because like being a third culture kid is it really like defines so many aspects of like your life. It's weird because like, so I grew up here. My formative years, like when I was 8 years old when we like moved here full time, right? So like I did a lot of my schooling over there before that. So when I came here for the first time, I was like 5. I didn't speak Urdu at all. Like I learned Urdu after. And it was just, it's weird because like my mother, like, as it's usually like your mother, that's like your mother tongue. Your mother is what you associate like the most with in terms of like culture and stuff. It's weird because she also moved to the States when she was 15. She is still very Dominican, but she's also like sort of Dominican, like American also, but she's also lived in Pakistan longer than she's lived in America for. So it's kind of this interesting like mix of like, when we used to go back to America, like when we were older, it was weird because it was like we always in school felt too like Western and American to be considered Desi, especially because we don't really speak Urdu at home. My mom to this day like barely can speak it. And like we always kind of felt like outside of this culture, like fully, you know, like me and my brother definitely never felt like fully Desi. But then we'd go to America and then American culture was also like kind of foreign to us. We were like, oh, well, we identify as way more American when we're over here, but when we're over there, we're not splitting a bill. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many.
Yeah, the guy has to pay all the time.
No, not. It's just there's so many parts of American culture that we're like, we're not American at all. Like, what is going on over here? And it really like head fucks you as a kid, but I feel like as an adult, like, so grateful that I kind of got to experience American culture, Dominican culture, Pakistani culture growing up, because it makes you so much like that much more comfortable when you're put into any setting. Like you can put me anywhere in the world and I will make friends, I will be comfortable, I will be social, I'll start picking up the language just because like I've been able to experience all of this, you know? And like I lived in Austria, like in Vienna, I learned German. And it's culturally like in Asman Zameen ka farak hai from American and Desi culture. Like in mind blowing. And I acclimated. I was just like, okay, like we can do with my friends. I was like, we can do things your way. Hispanic culture is still much more similar to Desi culture when it comes to like being inviting and warm and welcoming and giving. Very, very, very similar cultures. So like Americans a lot more individualistic, and then I would say like Germany and all those like sort of countries, they're just different. It's like almost an extreme, you know? And I was like, yeah, I can acclimate to this. I can figure this out. So with my friends, I'd be like, okay, we can do certain things your way, but then we're gonna do other things my way if you want to be friends with me. So it's just like, we're not gonna split bills. I'll pay this time, you pay next time. दोस्तों के बीच में हिसाब नहीं होता. And that for them was just like a mind-blowing concept. And I can respect that. It's not about being cheap for them. It's just culturally what they do.
Yep.
And I'd be like, this is how we do things in my culture, and this is how we're gonna do things if you want to be friends with me, because it makes me uncomfortable splitting bills, you know? Especially if it's just two of us and we're getting out food like out every other day, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I
Did you ever feel, अच्छा तो हमारे स्कूल में कुछ थे क्या नाम है half Pakistani, half, you know, another nationality or another ethnicity.
किसके स्कूल में?
हाँ,
Oh, Jagwan?
Turi.
Oh, yeah, he's now in Japan, right?
So he he is half Japanese. So did you ever feel like, I mean, this might be a weird question, but, and did you ever feel like singled out for being different? Like, acha, whoa.
yeah, for sure. Growing up was, I would say, like pretty tough, like in school, especially because there was a lot of like back and forth during my like initial schooling years, where it was like 6 months out of the school year in America, 3 months in Pakistan, 4 months there, 5 months here. Very, very back and forth growing up.
What all schools did you go here?
I was in the Learning Alliance when I was here for the majority of my time here, and Scarsdale. I did high school at Scarsdale. Loved it. It was great, and great school. And in America was just, I don't even remember. But singled out over here for sure. In America, it was a little different because there was a lot of, the majority of the kids were like mixed, you know? There was a lot of like Indian kids. There was a lot of like mixed kids. It was super normal from like first generation parents, whatever. Over here, no, it was difficult. It was, my accent got made fun of a lot. To this day, the reason I don't talk, like if you are ever wondering why I don't talk on my Instagram that much, it's because I've gotten so much hate over the years of people thinking that I put on my accent.
Sorry, my foot.
You know my home, you're my father's second.
You're my father's second wife.
Sir, आप legend है.
जब मैंने आपको बाद में BBC एशिया का देखा था इंटरव्यू, उनका उस बंदे का असली एक्सेंट ही ब्रिटिश था. A Pakistani British accent, which I guess then.
You know, it's interesting. That happened to me on the set of College Gate on day one. I was acting, and the director was like, when I had my first speaking lines, I was acting as an ABCD, and the director was like, "What are you doing? Stop! Just talk how you talk." And I was like, easy breezy. Like I literally don't have to act. This is so easy. So I think he was doing the same thing, because you're like, I'm stepping into a character.
Yeah.
I need to sound British, but you're actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Pakistani
It's
British
funny.
actor here.
But yeah, my accent is real. I talk like this. And it's funny because my siblings both have slightly different accents than me. But I think that accents are always such an interesting thing, because like I got made fun of my accent. I started developing like a more Desi accent when we moved here, like between, I think I was around 10 or 11. My accent started turning, you know, a little bit like more Desi. When we went back to America, our cousins like shat on us so much for like developing that accent.
Thank you, come again.
Oh yeah, they were like, oh, you want the rubber? You want the rubber? Da-da-da-da. And I like, that altered my brain chemistry, and I was just like, I'm never gonna talk like that. And then I kept my American accent throughout. My brother, that obviously didn't affect him, so my brother has a slightly more like less American accent than me. I'd say it's not quite like a Desi accent, but it's definitely like, it's different. And then my sister, though, literally she was born in America, but like fully raised here. My sister can speak Punjabi. She is like she's an AC boy at heart. She always says, she's like, I'm an AC boy at heart. So it's interesting, because like, I think that's why people think I fake it. But no, sorry, your question. Your question was, did I ever feel single? Yeah, people made fun of my accent a lot.
Yeah, असल में मैं उस दिन generational हम फनी बातें करते हैं
Racial trauma? अच्छा ठीक है.
बिकॉज ब्रो बिकॉज मैं गूगल कर रहा था डोमिनिकन रिपब्लिक पाकिस्तान रिलेशन
Okay.
कुछ नहीं आया ठीक है फिर मैंने कहा डीआर हिस्ट्री
मेरे घर में तो डोमिनिकन पाकिस्तानी रिलेशन तो बहुत है.
अच्छा नेचुरली हाँ तो लाइक फिर मैंने डीआर हिस्ट्री देखी तो इट वाज लाइक इन 1965 में सिविल वॉर हुआ था उसके बाद 30 साल अथॉरिटेरियन गवर्नमेंट थी मैं कह रहा था यार आई मीन हर like Nani was probably like living in the DR at that time. She must have gone through that. And like अब generational trauma जो यार fuck this conversation क्यों कर रहा हूँ?
So basically क्या हो गया?
It's like it's interesting कि like पहले अब पाकिस्तान के अंदर तो माशाल्लाह ही trauma है ना.
हाँ
तो फिर आप
हम तो बहुत अच्छे हैं वैसे चीज के अंदर. Like we're so like zoned out, immune people. Like
People are like, oh yeah, Pakistan isn't this going on, there's that going on there.
a party.
I'm like, bro, they're like, don't you guys hate Indians? And I'm like, no, that's like the older generation.
So it's just funny मैं कह रहा हूँ कि दो different types के आपको traumas आ रहे हैं फिर then you have to deal with that in like तो फिर it was just
Yeah, but I like obviously do wish I felt more connected to like my Dominican side. I have been maybe like once when I was a kid. Other than that, when I'm in New York, like with my grandparents, don't speak English. So when I'm in New York, I feel super, like I start to feel a lot more connected. But I like as an adult haven't spent any like really significant amount of time around them. So everything has just kind of been like, you know, the majority of my life has either been American culture or Pakistani culture. So it's like, yeah, Dominican probably like the least out of all, just cause. But I mean, still, you know, like I wish it was more. Also, for a very long time, I kind of like rejected. Like when I first left when I was 18, I like wanted nothing to do with Pakistan. Like I was like rejecting like anything to do with here. I hated like so many things about living here. Like when I was at that age, and
because you were being singled out.
yeah, because I felt like I didn't quite like belong here. I went to America, lived there. When I moved back, was the first time that I really like appreciated how much culture we have over here.
And this is when? This is what
This
time?
was like 3.5, almost 4 years.
Post-COVID. Okay.
Yeah, post-COVID. And I was just like, damn, like I love that there's the beauty of like the artwork, the beauty of our clothes, the beauty of our jewelry, the beauty of embracing the traditionalism. Because I don't want, like, because I already in some sense was separated from like my Dominican heritage for so many years. I mean, of course that can be rectified, but like I didn't want to lose that sense of being Pakistani, which I really was. Like I had lost it, like living there for so many years. And when I came back, I was just like, I want to be a part of this.
Wow, yeah, bro, it's full circle. Like, it's ironic that your childhood was all about, like, where am I? Am I part of this group? Am I part of this group? And then the thing that you like about Pakistan is the whole language, society, culture, individualism. Nice, that's full circle.
From a fun podcast, अगर अब serious बातें हो गई हैं, वापस fun पे
ये
बड़ी funny story है.
अच्छा, okay.
ठीक है तो यार Salman's wife is a what is it?
She is a culinary concept developer.
हाँ जी. So she makes
Is
great.
the concept torturing people?
Funny thing, that was my idea.
Oh, of course it was. Your wife's trying to start like have a respectable business, and you're like, how do I make this painful for the guests?
So actually, before you tell this story, because I know what you're going to talk about, I just want to say.
How about you do this?
Okay, so I want to say this. Yeah, okay, so my wife did a pop-up, and this pop-up we were doing the bomb one chip challenge.
You were making burritos at the pop-up?
Yes. I wasn't, my wife was. Yeah, she was doing like a whole pop-up with her own menu. There was like science behind it. There was like recipes and like all the things, her passion. I've never seen her more happier at any job. That's so true. And
like,
yeah. And so obviously as my wife is doing something, I'm like everything for her, the driver, the waiter, the cleaning wala, kuch bhi ho, so I'm there for her. So I was also doing waiter stuff. Yeah, as you guys would testify to because I was serving you guys food. So we did a one chip challenge, which was the bomb sauce, jo hot ones. It's a YouTube show. So like we just dabbed it and do it. So before we tell your story, which you will tell, I just want to say to all the people who actually tried it, I really do apologize because I think 50 लोगों ने, I was expecting like 10 लोग करेंगे. Throughout the whole tenure, but 50 लोगों ने किया और 2-3 लोगों ने actually like Roja के like जो Roja Eats का like food blog page है, उस पे लोगों ने लिखा like, screw you, we're in the hospital, and like, blah, blah, this was not supposed to be like this. That is why on the hot ones, they just do a dab, and you guys like lathered it. And I was like, buddy, that's the whole point. Like, अगर आपको कोई मुफ्त खाना दे रहा है और waiver sign करवा रहा है, तो just like be sure that like कुछ होगा ये. So Mustafa, being very kind, came to the pop-up, I think thrice, and one of them was with you, and you very like bravely enough said कि yes.
कि भाई हम 4 लोग थे, मैं, जावियर, अली, ताली. लॉन्डो ने कहा नहीं, कोई सीन ही नहीं है.
Yeah, I remember. Tina was like,
I keep telling you, I'm built
different.
built different.
And then,
my
yeah.
dad- what do I always say?
Okay, my dad didn't raise a
My
bitch.
dad did not raise a bitch. Like,
But I just want to add this, that yes, in the moment, you did complete the challenge. लेकिन फिर मुझे बाद में खबर मिली, but say that.
okay, so I did the wine and hot chip challenge. I handled it like a champ, in my opinion.
You did.
And for reference, मैंने अली और जावियर ने उसका एक ड्रॉप ज़ुबान पे डाला था.
उसका like
जो भी था left over था, हमने ट्राई किया और it was burning. It was like आग.
Yeah.
और वो भी नहीं कि अभी dissolve हो रहा है आग. It was आग the moment you felt your taste buds. It was bad.
That was rough, but I was not gonna let that show. I didn't let that show. I honestly think I would have been completely fine.
The challenge was you have to have a chip for 5 minutes.
It was 15 minutes.
No, it was 5 minutes without water. Yeah. That was more if it was just 5 minutes.
Felt like a lifetime. That shit was hot. Definitely very spicy. But yeah, no, I think I would have been completely fine afterwards. Obviously, I would have been a little hilada, but my dumb ass was like, let me go and work out after doing this, like, the spiciest chip on planet Earth, lathered in hot sauce. I literally go to the gym. I'm walking on the treadmill, and I'm like, I'm feeling acidity in my stomach. I'm like, come on, you can do this. Let's get a good workout in. I start working out, and I'm just like, oh my God, no, I'm nauseous as hell. I go to the bathroom. I start throwing up. I started throwing up, but the thing is that like the spiciness in my mouth had subsided at this point. I start throwing up. The exact level of spice is coming out of my esophagus. It's hitting my entire mouth. It's coming out of my nose. So when it started coming out of my nose, that was when like it reached a whole nother level of torture, because like, you know, when it hits the nasal like cavity, you feel it in your brain. Like it was literally like behind my eyes, my brain was on fire. Like the little people in my brain were like, Mayday, Mayday. It was so bad. I genuinely thought I was gonna die. I was like, I fucked up. I was sweating like crazy. My hair was wet. Ali came out to like check on me, and Ali was like, are you okay? And I was like, call an ambulance. Ali carried me down like the elevator and put me in the car because I couldn't stand. Like that is how much pain I was in. My stomach was hurting my stomach was hurting so much, and just the main thing was just like when it came out of my nose, it was the exact level of spice. The spice levels had not gone at all.
Boys, बहुत ज़्यादा मिर्ची थी.
It was insane. And I even asked Ali, like, he's literally like, I'm in his arms, like coming down the elevator with my head like rolling, sweat dripping. I'm like, I need to go to the hospital, I think. And and the next thing I say, I'm like, don't tell anyone about this. I was like, he's just laughing.
A few months later.
A few moments later, I was like, no, cannot show my weakness. I was like, everyone needs to still think I'm built different. So yeah, that was
Wow.
hilarious. It was so funny.
Let's go with that.
Okay, where can I get that foodie?
Fuck me.
You can DM her page.
I'll get the page from you when the podcast is over. It was really good food. Anyone watching, the food was bomb. The chips and salsa that I got for free after I did that, they were actually so good. When they finished, I was like, damn, I need more of these.
Not through the fire challenge, chip challenge.
Yeah, not with the hot sauce.
So Tari, in the beginning, like you mentioned, like who your grandmother is, like a very famous actress, and your uncle as well. So you mentioned like growing up around fame. Though we talked about this on the previous part as well, about how your relationship or your views on fame like are different when you've seen like grown up around it. So could you like just elaborate like तुम्हारे opinions on fame and like उस तरह से क्या है? You mentioned like it's something that once you have it, it's not something that's like
Yeah,
it's really
I feel like anyone, like, you know, that we have so many friends that also grew up in like very close proximity to like this sort of superstardom levels of fame. And it's it's something that everybody like wants so badly, but like the reality of the situation can be really wild. And I feel like, especially like as a woman in this country, like I have a very Western upbringing. My mom's not from here, whatever. I like to dress how I want to dress. When you reach a certain level of fame, you like in a place like Pakistan, you can't do that anymore. Like you just can't. Like it's like, yeah, especially as a woman, it's so difficult to like do things that you want to do and like not upset a big population of the people over here. So I feel like that's kind of part of the big reason why I'm always kind of like iffy about like, I don't think that's like a level that I want to reach or like accomplish, because it's a lot. I literally grew up seeing it. It can be a lot. Like there's stalkers. There used to be women from like the gaon who would come running from the gaon, come outside of our house because everybody knew that our house was Sean's house. It's like a landmark basically at this point. And they'd come and they'd be like, no, like, you know, he's the father of my children. And the husbands would come and they'd be like, dude, she's like insane. Like, it's this really insane level of like craziness. You cannot go out in public comfortably. You cannot not be like bombarded by like people. You cannot not ever, if you're having a bad day, you can't be rude to people. You can't like, you know, like people are going to come up to you without asking, sticking cameras in your face, asking for this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's a lot. Like, it's overwhelming. And it's like, again, ties back to my anxiety. It's like me struggling with the level of anxiety I struggle with. Would I be able to like constantly have that sort of pressure where everyone's watching or everyone's like secretly recording, you know? Like there's so many things that I feel like people don't think about in their like race to achieve this thing. And I mean, yeah, I could talk about this for hours. There's so many like realities to the situation that
Pause. Let's take a double pause. Yeah.
ठीक है तो short break के बाद we're back and तो Tali, just gonna circle back to something that you said in College Gate, and I was laughing out loud because the quote that you said in one of the episodes was, I'm gonna vlog because the people need beauty, क्योंकि अगर beauty नहीं है तो love affairs नहीं होंगे, इसलिए beauty is very important. And I was like,
that scene was actually so funny because, you know, I make this like homemade pimple cream. They in the original script, they wanted it to be a whitening cream. And I fought with the director so much. I was just like, I'm not saying that. Like you're not going to catch me slipping. I'm not doing that. You're not going to set us back. So he was like, "Acha, theek hai, pimple cream kar do." And I was like, "Theek hai, pimple cream karte hain." And then like I put it on my face and I start like screaming. I thought that scene looked so, like the consistency of like the lotion that they had on the thing looked so inappropriate.
Astaghfirullah.
I was like, no, this is not the vibes. And then also the other funny thing about that scene was I had to scream. And I don't think I've seen that scene finished yet. I think I saw it in post, but I didn't see it once it aired. Was I screamed, but I have a really raspy voice. I can't like do a high-pitched scream like ever.
That's a lie. I've heard her scream multiple times.
No, but like they wanted that like,
Giri mate.
that's not a scream though. That's not like, you know, the cycle like,
अब सोच इसकी तरफ से दिल से जब निकला गिरी मत, I was like, Natalia.
Natalia कभी भी निकला. But yeah, no, they needed me to scream and I was like, I literally couldn't scream. So they were like, chalo, we'll have someone scream later on and then we'll put it on there. But
yeah, the whitening cream वाली भी जो बात की है ना, it's such a weird industry.
I know.
The whitening cream industry.
the acting industry.
Okay. So it only exists in Pakistan and India, Sri Lanka.
हाँ, but like it's अजीब मसले होते हैं like
नीचे वही नहीं है.
like age वाला भी जो issue है like इतने लोग जो है like someone told me that उसने एक बहुत famous actor की Wikipedia page पे जो है like age कम की थी like तो उसको 40 से like 30 कर दिया था.
Yeah.
This is a prevalent issue.
It's hilarious. It's such a anyone that's in the industry, anyone who has family in the industry. I feel like हमारे generation में थोड़ा कम है. Actually, that's not even true. But it's so much. My grandmother, oh my God, my favorite thing. I would always say, anytime she would like, anyone would ask her like how old she was, from as far back as I can remember, 50 plus. 50 plus. Even when my dad turned 50, is 50 plus. Like, it just, I always say I found out how old she was, like, once it was written on the thing. I was like, that's how old she was? I had no idea. Because she looked young, like, till the end. Like, she really did look, you know, she was very lively and vibrant and youthful.
Whitening creams and
No. But, yeah, it's such an industry thing. Even, like, now, I'm sort of getting to an age, I'm in my late 20s. I don't know what it says about it. Literally, if you Google my age online, it says 34, 35.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's not how old I am. I'm in my late 20s. But my dad would always, how old are you? 21. How long have you been 21? A while. But my dad, like, it's so funny. Around his friends, like, whenever it's just like my birthday or anything, his friends would be like, oh, how old are you turning? And I'll say how old I'm turning. My dad's friends watched me grow up. Their kids are born the same year as me. Everybody knows this. My dad would be like, Natalia, I told you, stop telling people your real age. And I'm just like, no one cares. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. But yeah.
It's a stressful business, sorry, and it's really so क्योंकि हम इतनी like कैसी बात करते हैं मेरी जो पहले वाली notes है ना वो अब जाके कर रहा हूँ तो you were talking about how exhausting it is like being on set for like acting वगैरह वगैरह but also on modeling sets where you were in a music video for Danny पिंड दी हवा I don't know what the उसके बाद पिंड दी हवा and Afterlife तो I don't know अगर तुमने देखी है तो like it's quite anime inspired ठीक है she's ये एक गांव के अंदर एक लड़की होती है गोट का मेरा ख्याल रख रही होती है वो ठीक है तो good one and then she like I don't know what like she's how do I put this without making it look sadistic video बहुत अच्छी है but she like transforms into one of his minions
Okay.
ठीक है but I remember like even though the music video was very mesmerizing very nice ताली ने जब मुझे behind the scenes बताया कि मैं इतनी थक गई थी और मेरी डैनी से दोस्ती खत्म होने वाली थी
No, conceptually, actually, it was supposed to be more of like, we haven't shot the third part of that like trilogy of music videos. It's supposed to be me sort of going from a gaon girl to a city girl. And what that scene was supposed to represent, like, I mean, not literally, but like what it's supposed to represent in the overarching storyline that Danny had for it was really cool because it's kind of like the death of the traditionalistic side of me and me going into being like, you know, a city girl, basically. Like, I run away to the city and I like am, you know, now this different sort of person and I've shed this like gaon ladki thing. And that was what that was supposed to be representing. Even I was just like, I'm getting sacrificed in a bathtub, Danny. What the fuck is this Illuminati shit going on over here? It was really funny.
and behind the scenes
Oh my God. We started, our makeup call time was midnight. And we started the shoot, the first shot I think was like sunrise, 4:35 a.m. It was so exhausting. It was so hot. It was like one of the hottest days of the year. Pata nahi mid-August, July, pata nahi kis.
And this trilogy is still not complete?
Yeah, it's still not complete, but I think we will complete it eventually. But it was, Bindi Hawa is my favorite music video that I've done to date. I love it. I think it was executed so beautifully. I think I look great in it. I think the costuming was done really well. 10 out of 10. Love it. Love the song too, obviously. But yeah, there was a point where like, so Danny like thought he was, I think he did get heat stroke. He did get heat stroke. His hands were like swollen. It was really intense. And it was like bugs. We were like really in like the gaon, like by the River Ravi and in this like forest wooded area. And we started at midnight and we've been working in the heat all day. And towards like 9, 10 p.m. we were getting those.
12 a.m. So
Yeah, like a 24-hour like shoot basically, and no one has slept. We're doing these like in the water bathtub, like whatever was going on scenes. I was so done. I was just like beyond like exhausted and tired and eaten alive by bugs, everything. And I was like, Danny, you have one shot. I was like, you're gonna get this all done one shot, me. Because I was just starting to be like I'm not myself when I'm sleep deprived. And I was just like, yeah, hamari dosti khatam ho jayegi aaj. Like, it's bus. And then he was like, nee, bus, like this shot. And he has this vision and, like it's his project. And it's hard to see that vision when it's like, obviously when I saw it afterwards, I was like, fuck, I wish I would have given more towards those end shots. But it's so difficult when you're like in that position. But it was so funny. I'm so happy that it turned out so great though.
And it's funny that you mentioned that you're not yourself when you're sleep deprived, though. For the people, for the masses, जो हमने पिछली दफा भी record किया था, there was a time when you were sleep deprived and you were traveling from America to Pakistan through Turkey, and you had a very traumatic experience.
क्या ये तो बहुत लंबी कहानी हो जाएगी.
कोई मसला नहीं.
कोई मसला नहीं है.
We got tired.
I basically had this insane flight from LA to Pakistan.
But this is also anxiety related कि ये लग रहा था कि
नहीं लग नहीं रहा था. ये इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ था. Like this was one of the instances where I know for a fact I wasn't overreacting. And this was also because I was 21 when this happened. This was a defining moment for me on what kind of made me way more paranoid in the future. So basically I had this insane travel flight situation this was pre-COVID, from LA to Pakistan. I stopped in New York, I stopped in Paris, and then I had a 9-hour layover in Istanbul, and I had my dog with me, right? And so I checked into so I was flying business class, not terrifying. It's really important to the story, right? So I don't know if anyone's ever seen the Turkish Airlines business class lounge.
I haven't.
It's really insane. Like it's 4 stories.
Viewer has.
It's a really insane lounge. There's 4 stories. There's a golf course on it. There's a movie theater on it.
That's pretty cool, by the way.
It's a really crazy lounge. It's like the Turkish Airlines lounge at the Turkish airport, at the Turkey airport. But anyway, so when I was checking into the lounge for a 9-hour layover with my dog, there was this guy that checked me into the lounge, and he was tall. Like this dude was very memorable because of how tall he was. And he checked me into the lounge, and I remember over the course of the 9 hours of being in that lounge, I kept seeing him I would be in totally different areas of the lounge. At one point, I was even trying to take a nap in the movie theater room, and I heard the door open. So I looked back, and it was I just saw his silhouette, and he was dude was 6'5". So I was like, oh, it's that guy again. Weird. He's all over this lounge, right? So when it's time to check into my flight, I'm so sleep deprived. I get to the gate, and it's the same dude at the gate checking people in. And he was just like, you can't get on this flight. And I was like, why? And he was like, because we have a cat on this flight. And I was just like, that doesn't make any sense because I booked my dog onto this flight and paid for a ticket and everything 3 weeks ago. What do you mean? And he was just like, yeah, no, we can't have it's our airline policy. We can't have a dog and a cat in the same cabin. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, fine, I'll sit in economy. I don't care. I'm going home. What?
Slowly.
Sorry. I was like, yeah, I'll sit in economy.
Traumatic है कि बस जल्दी से खत्म कर देना.
I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't care. I'll sit in economy. It's the last leg of the flight. Doesn't make a difference. And he was like, nee, the cat is in economy. And I was like, sir, I'm not trying to sound any type of way, but how you gonna give this economy class cat priority over my business class dog that was booked on this flight 3 weeks ago? So I'm fighting with the guy, but I'm also I'm so tired. And he was
sleep deprived.
And super sleep deprived. And he was just like, listen, relax. He was like, the cat was booked before. And he was like, the only person that can give the green light is the pilot. So I was like, let me talk to the pilot. And he was like, no. I'll talk to the pilot. And I was like, no, let me talk to the pilot. Let him look at my dog. My dog is 2 kilograms.
It's actually smaller than this mic.
This is the size of my dog. It's not a Chihuahua. It's a Maltipoo. And she's a teacup Maltipoo. She's genetically mutated to be tiny. Anyway, so he was just like, no, I'll talk to the pilot. And then he came back and he was like, the pilot said no. In hindsight, like all of these were such red flags that I was not picking up on. And he was like, listen, we're going to put you in an airport hotel. It's going to be really nice. You get free breakfast. We'll give you a taxi voucher so that the taxi back and forth is free. You'll be on the same flight tomorrow. And I was trying to fight it, but then I was just like, you know, whatever. I'll just go to the hotel and go to sleep and get on the flight the next day. So it was December. It was like the middle of winter in Istanbul. So I take the taxi. Thank God the taxi driver didn't take me because nobody knew. I could have been anywhere from Paris to New York to still in LA for like nobody would have known that I had left the airport in Turkey. Really dangerous thing to do.
Were you at an airport hotel? Yeah, he took you to a different hotel far from the airport.
No. It was an airport hotel. No, the airport hotels are not literally inside the airport.
Okay.
The airport hotels are like 5 to 10 minutes away from the airport. That's
Or the airport maybe.
that's what an airport hotel like is. So I got the taxi. I get to my hotel room. I check in. It was like 11 p.m., something like that. And it was really cold. Like I was not like dressed for how cold it was over there. And I check into the hotel. I go up to my room was on like the second floor first floor, whatever, one level up. And it was a woman that checked me in at the front desk. And I check into my room, and I remember like I tried calling my parents from the hotel, and no one was picking up because I guess time differences, whatever. No one was picking up, so I dropped them a message. I didn't even tell them what hotel I was in. I just let them know that like there was a delay, and I'd be coming basically the next day. So I was just out of it, like so out of it. But I remember this was the hotel door. And I remember like not being able to get through to my parents, and I locked like the locks on the door. So it opened with a key card, and then there was a lock which was like a deadbolt. Jiske liye ek chabi thi outside pe, but you don't get that key obviously, right? I remember locking the deadbolt and locking the ye wali jo lock, right? This thing. And I remember closing all of those, making sure they were locked. I like literally double locked it, and I remember thinking, wow, what a perfect situation to get taken in because nobody knows where I am. And then I immediately fall asleep. Like literally my head hits the pillow.
She manifested this drama.
Literally, and I'm gone, right?
Okay.
I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning to my dog barking like bloody murder, and this insane banging. Like the banging was like does. And I wake up, I don't know where I am, I don't know what year it is, I don't know what country I'm in. I legitimately am like, where the fuck am I? Like, what is going on? And then I'm like, okay, I'm in an airport hotel in Istanbul, like turn the light on. Where's this bang? I thought there was an earthquake initially. So I'm like, I pick a puppy. I'm like still really like out of it, kind of gathering my surroundings in my mind. And I turn the light on, and I look down the hallway. My door is completely open, like the hotel room door. The only thing that's keeping the door closed is that little like latch thing. It's the only thing. And whoever's on the other side of this door is trying to break it. Like there was no like question that this was like, oh, it's locked, like oopsie. It was like, no, whoever's on this other side of the door like is trying to break this shit down, right? And I was just like, oh my God. So I threw myself against the door, shut that thing, locked the locks again, have like my hand on it. I looked through the peephole, and there's 2 guys. And I was like, let me remember everything about these guys. Full on like taken situation, like, oh, he's wearing a cologne, you know what I mean? Like, remember every single thing.
He's wearing a cologne?
In Taken, she like describes like Jacquard Noir, whatever, the cologne that he's wearing.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, how Liam Neeson like...
Fucking hell.
Yeah, no, super crazy. So, or maybe it wasn't Taken too, I don't remember, love those movies. But anyway, so I see those, like I look at the guys, and they're wearing short sleeve t-shirts. They have no like bags, nothing on them, which was fair because maybe their luggage was downstairs, who knows. And they had these 2 caps pulled down over like their faces. And they kind of talk to each other for a second, and they turn and they walk this way into the hotel, right? So I'm like freaking out. I like run, grab my phone. I won't take my hand off the lock because I'm like, I know that I locked this lock, right? And I called my ex, who was like already my ex at this point, but I was just like, I need to call somebody that is going to pick up the phone right now. And he picked up, and I was explaining the situation to him, and I was just, running through everything. And he was like, stay on the phone with me, call the hotel. I called the hotel. The same chick answered, and it was like a younger woman, like maybe like, in her mid-20s.
Same chick?
picked up?
Same chick that like I checked in with. And so I called the front desk and I'm like in tears. I'm like, please send somebody up. I'm freaking out. 2 guys literally just tried breaking into my room. I'm like fucking terrified. She's like, yeah, we'll send someone up right away. Hang up. Go back to the door. Waiting for security or someone to come up. Nobody comes. 10 minutes later, call her again. Hey, I don't think you're like understanding what just happened. Like I really, really need you to send someone up now. I'm like fucking terrified. Same thing happens. 10 minutes go by, nobody comes up. This happens like 3 times. And I'm just like, girl, like, you're a woman. You can hear how terrified I am. Come up, check on me yourself. Like, what are you doing? I'm like shitting myself. I'm so scared. She's like, the 4th time I called, she's like, yeah, actually, you know what happened was that you're in room 101. These two guests just checked in. My colleague was supposed to put them in room 110, but they accidentally gave them the key card to your room. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Because I know my name that I locked that lock twice. So like, unless they were given a key that I wasn't given, it doesn't make any sense. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, not about to fight them. I was like upset.
You particularly said they had no luggage.
Yeah, they didn't have luggage, which I mean, arguably they could have had their luggage like coming up, but it was so cold. They weren't even wearing sweaters. Like I thought that was really weird. Like, or at least like a fanny pack. Like you don't put like your wallet and your passport and stuff into like the luggage that you sell, you know, but even that is still like, you could write that off. Maybe their jackets and everything were on that thing. Who knows? I waited looking out the people until 6 in the morning when like the staff started coming in and other people were coming in and out to get my shit and go back to the airport. And this is like the part where it's just the twist that makes it really scary. When I was leaving the hotel, I'm just like, they went this way and I know they never came back from this way. So I was like, what is this way? The hallway was a dead end because the elevators were this way and I knew the elevators were this way. There was nothing else this way. So if they were checked into the wrong room and they needed to go back down to the lobby, there was no way of getting back down to the lobby this way. So like, they either went into another room or like something. It was just, I know, super scary. And then the more I thought about it later on, I was just like, there was no reason for me not to board my flight. Like nothing about that made any sense. But
Which is why Natalia now carries a knife.
Yeah. That's the reason or is this?
no, I always have like pepper spray or something.
Funny enough, Natalia actually fought with असला भी लाई थी.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
इस तरह करके उसने bullet दिखाई.
Yeah, I think, I do remember this. Why did you have that bullet? Because
I don't know. My friend had a gun in the car and it wasn't loaded. So I was playing with like the magazine. I pulled the bullet out and I just had it on me when I came.
Okay, don't do that, kids. Tali, is there any chance that this was a misunderstanding? कि like वो किसी और कमरे में चले गए हों या something along those lines?
Again, I know that I locked that lock twice. How was the lock unlocked? Also, where did they go? Because I was like glued to the people for like the next 3 hours. Those guys.
In a room next door? Because this is a big fucking deal.
Dude, I'm just saying like
अगर ये हो रहा होता है तो like
why?
it should be making like news or something.
Dude, I'm telling you, that dude that like checked me in at the thing.
At the airport.
At the airport. Like this like trafficking is a real thing. Like trafficking is a very real thing. Like no one in my family would have known where I even was in the world, where to like begin looking for me. And it's so like, I don't know, it felt very calculated. Why was this guy following me around the lounge? Why was he not letting me speak to anyone other than him at the front gate? Why was he not letting me just like switch to economy, like have a dog? It's a Boeing 737. You can't have, a dog and a cat in their carry cases. Again, the whole gut feeling thing, like I've gotten this far in life with like, relatively not many bad things happening to me.
Mashallah.
Mashallah. I've always followed my gut. Like
I've only heard bad things right now. Puking at the gym, going in the pool.
No. I mean, like in terms of my personal safety. Okay. Like I've always like I've gone out, I've traveled, I've moved to countries by myself. Like I've solo traveled so much. Really, like, with not many bad experiences to speak of, but there's these like moments because it's like if I'm around people and like my gut's like, no, I'm instantly like, no. Like if I have someone watch like, an uncovered drink for me and I'm just kind of like, no, I toss the drink away. Like don't matter. Buy another one. You know, always, always, always like being careful, mindful, and listening to my gut. My like gut was just like, God saved you, like tonight. Like be grateful because this was a situation that was not a good situation. Also, everything else aside, why wouldn't she have just sent someone up to check on me? Any employee.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, are you good? No, there was something sus going on there. I mean, yeah, sure, there could be a chance that...
इसको अब segue करते हैं. अब इसको segue थोड़ा करना मुश्किल है. But how about we go, Ali, get close to the mic, look into the camera, and call out your least favorite model.
Where do I begin? The list is endless. No.
My least favorite model is me yesterday because I'm the best version today.
Yeah, that's a great answer. You know, I say that on set all the time. The photographers always ask me, they're like, "Tumhari achhi side kaun si hai?" And I look at them and I'm just like, "Are you implying I have a bad side?" I was like, "What's the implication?" I was like, "Dono achhi." तुम किसी भी एंगल से बस नीचे से ना ले double chin it's pretty bad but
So let's end on how you failed your driving test, and then we can go home.
And we're here. There's a driving test here.
no, not here. I failed my driving. Oh my God, I failed my driving test in America 6 times.
Uncha.
Yeah, I failed my driving test in America 6 times. I feel like America's like arguably one of the easiest, I mean, not the easiest, but in the Western world, like a very easy place to pass a driving test. I'm just dumb.
And for those who don't know, what's the American driving test?
Like, you know, in Europe, it's like it's an expensive process. There's like, you have to take classes before you can take the driving test and everything. It's like a whole thing. In America, I've heard from like all my European counterparts that it's like really, really, really easy. But I should not be operating heavy machinery. Like, it's not for me. I'm a very jittery person. I'm very anxious. I get very stressed out, like, very quickly. The majority of the times that I failed my test, the last time actually that I gave it, the driving instructor was like, listen, I had a driving instructor that I hired to teach me before I took the test. He quit on me. He was just like, maybe girl, like, no, like, just no. And also when my dad was trying to teach me when I was like 15 or 16, he was like, Beta, listen. And my dad taught my brother and my sister, all of us, how to drive, like, when we were younger. When it came to me, he was just like, dude, look, you're either gonna have to, like, make sure that you're always making enough money to afford yourself a driver, or marry someone that's always gonna be able to afford a driver for you, because I don't see this happening. Okay. And then my ex that I was with for a really long time told me that he would buy me, like, basically what was, like, my dream car if I could pass my driving test. And still couldn't do it. But my driving instructor, the last time I took it was like, you did everything perfectly. Yeah, he was like, you did everything perfectly. Okay. But every time I said, go left, you went right. And every time I said, go right, you went left. And he was like, that was just too many mistakes. Like, it adds up to too many mistakes for me to pass you on. I just started crying. I was just like, no. But it's so funny because I'm really, really, really bad at left and rights. I can't understand it. I know, everyone's always like, yeah, just do that. Everyone in America was like, just do this. Like, what, and you can tell what left is. And I'm just like,
this is L, so this is left.
Yeah, if this is L, this is left. And if this is not L, this is right. But then I'm just like, bro, लाम भी तो एक चीज होती है, like, लाम is, ये दोनों मुझे सही लगते हैं, एक लाम है, एक L है, मतलब कि like, this isn't helping me at all. And to this day, I'm like really, really, really bad at my lefts and rights. I'm like the worst passenger princess.
Damn. One more time, I want you to tell me.
Pakistani license?
Oh no, I don't drive.
But you don't even have a Pakistani license?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, close to the camera, close to the mic, look at the camera, and tell all your model friends in abroad to subscribe to PAKiAVELLiAN in Spanish.
They don't want to speak Spanish.
Just do it. I just want to see how Dominican she is.
I'm trying to think if anyone on the spot is subscribe to PAKiAVELLiAN.
It's literally 2 words.
Can you look about and say subscribe? That's not a word I know.
Word subscribe.
Subscribe को subscribe ही होता होगा.
That's what I'm thinking.
अच्छा, अगर ये ना हुआ ना तो सब
Subscribe.
in Spanish.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Suscribir. No, suscribir. I'm not gonna make myself look like an idiot saying it wrong and claiming my Dominican heritage.
Okay, fine. Just say it in
Call my
English.
mom, phone a friend.
Just say it in English.
Can I phone a friend? Anyway, Amber Jean Davis, Chloe Treshelle, and all my beautiful all-American sweethearts. Subscribe to PAKiAVELLiAN.
And this is where season 1 ends. Tali, you're a legend. Thank you so much for coming again. Salman, tu bhi legend. All right, Tali, good luck, Salman, good luck, Yasir. And we are out. Bye-bye.